In this 2005 live footage, a news channel was broadcasting live the emergency landing of flight JetBlue 292. In fact, after taking off from Bob Hope Airport in California, its pilots immediately noticed that something was wrong. Due to a malfunction, they were unable to retract the landing gear, and after informing officials in the local control tower, they decided to attempt an emergency landing at the Los Angeles airport. Fortunately, the plane eventually landed successfully under the watchful eyes of millions of TV viewers, leaving all its passengers unharmed. In this 2021 live footage, a news reporter is doing a live crossover for her news channel about the Greenridge Cemetery, a place that is believed to be haunted and full of stories of murder and mishap. Everything seems to proceed smoothly when suddenly, while the reporter explains some interesting insight about the cemetery, a blurry transparent figure is spotted behind her, moving from left to right. In this 1985 live footage, Richard Belzer was interviewing the wrestling champion Hulk Hogan, when Belzer challenged him to demonstrate some wrestling moves. Hogan responded with a headlock that sent him straight to sleep, making him drop to the floor. Fortunately, Belzer regained consciousness, along with a few stitches and one heck of an anecdote some moments later.
And now, we'll be right back.
In this 2018 episode of America's Got Talent, two trapeze artists are staging a dangerous performance suspended over the fire. Everything proceeds smoothly until the male trapeze artist decides to put a blindfold over his eyes, in preparation for the last trick of the show. The woman balances on the man and after a few seconds, she lets herself fall backward. Unexpectedly, the man fails to grab the woman, causing her to fall to the ground, as everybody screams scared. Luckily, the woman gets up promptly without any kind of damage. After the end of an interview, this UK politician was walking away with a distinctly red briefcase that inexplicably became green after passing a parked car. While in the middle of a news piece, one of these Honduran presenters was shocked after his glass suddenly moved on its own. During a 2020 broadcast, Pope Francis seemed to vanish in thin air while stepping back inside after blessing the crowd.
Here's a kitchen appliance you didn't know you needed. Get all your ingredients together, pour in your batter, apply favorite fillings such as Nutella, bananas, and M&Ms, pour in the top half, and in minutes you can make the perfect stuffed 7-inch wide waffle right in your home. Makes for a great Valentine's Day gift for those who love to bake or for anyone with a sweet tooth. So what do you think of this?
In this 2017 live footage, Wendy Williams is hosting a Halloween edition of her daytime talk show dressed up as the Statue of Liberty. Suddenly, while announcing an upcoming segment, Williams stopped mid-sentence, her eyes suddenly opened wide and her whole body wobbling violently, before abruptly collapsing on the floor. While viewers initially thought the incident was a Halloween trick, Williams returned after a commercial break to assure them it was not.
That was not a stunt. I'm overheated in my costume and I did pass out.
During this live interview, the woman with the trolley starts walking away and the woman behind her mysteriously disappears. In this live football match, right before the goalkeeper kicks the ball back into play, a mysterious dark figure can be seen running through the stands. As the host discusses a recent football match, a groundsman who appears to be wheeling equipment off the ground suddenly disappears. As the hosts question the couple, the rocking chair in which the doll is sitting suddenly begins to rock back and forth. As the camera films one family organizing their event, a bouquet of flowers can be seen inexplicably lifting out of its vase and throwing itself across the room. During a news coverage in Japan, some viewers spotted a mysterious black bird repeatedly vanishing and reappearing. This 1969 CBS live broadcast shows a draft lottery organized in order to determine individuals to fight the Vietnam War. The lottery worked like this. Each day of the year was printed on a piece of paper and the pieces of paper were placed in a large glass jar. The birth dates were then drawn at random, assigning them a number depending on the drawing order. After the lottery, draftees were called for duty in order of their draft number, beginning with the number 1 and proceeding with the order, until the military's manpower needs were met. In this 2015 live footage, a journalist is reporting live from a bug exhibit at the Museum of National History. He and his crew decide to make the story more interesting by putting a large exotic moth on his vest before the beginning of the broadcast. As the broadcast begins, the bug crawls up the reporter's neck and cozies up next to his ear, seemingly biting him. In reality, the reporter's ear had not been bitten by the moth, but rather used as a deposit for 2 eggs, that were luckily discovered before they hatched. In this 2007 live footage, the Czech television's program, Panorama, is showing viewers a beautiful shot of the mountains. Suddenly, the initial tranquility is ruined by a blinding white light and the unmistakable sight of a mushroom cloud. The bombing was quickly and fortunately revealed as a hoax, masterminded by a guerrilla art prankster, who had apparently hacked the show's live camera feed, overwriting the footage with a CGI previously rendered. Donald Trump was having a speech on live TV when suddenly,
I have to do it myself. I know it's not.
During a press conference, Major General James Martin slowly slumps forward, probably passing out.
Can somebody help me?
During this live broadcast, something unsettling happens to the reporter's eyes.
Have long been a cornerstone of the counterinsurgency.
In this 1986 live footage, NASA was about to launch the Space Shuttle Challenger with its 7 crew members aboard, while their families were proudly watching them from the distance. However, the hope quickly turned into horror, as the ship burst into flames, breaking apart just 73 seconds after the launch and leading to the deaths of all 7 members on board. In this 2010 live footage, a German poker tournament is taking place in Berlin when one player can be seen suddenly looking over his shoulder as the studio audience begins quickly to inexplicably clear out. Screams of panic meanwhile fill the room, eventually leading the players themselves to leave the table. It would later turn out that an armed robbery was occurring on the premises, with the thieves ultimately making out with the tournament's jackpot.